have gay people been around? The existence of homosexuality and same-sex relationships can be traced back to ancient times. Historical and anthropological evidence suggests that same-sex relationships and behaviors have been present in various cultures and civilizations throughout history. For example, in ancient Greece, homosexuality was widely accepted and often celebrated in art, literature, and philosophy. In many Native American cultures, there were individuals who identified as two-spirit, meaning they had both male and female spiritual characteristics and often took on roles that were traditionally associated with the opposite gender. It is important to note, however, that the concept of gay people as a distinct group with a shared identity and culture is a relatively recent development. The modern gay rights movement began in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, and the term gay as a self-identifier only came into widespread use in the mid-20th century. So when did it change? It's difficult to pinpoint a specific time when attitudes towards homosexuality began to change, as cultural and societal views on same-sex relationships have evolved over time in different parts of the world at varying rates. However, the modern gay rights movement in the West is often traced back to the Stonewall riots of 1969, which occurred in New York City and were sparked by police raids on a gay bar. The riots led to increased visibility and activism by the LGBTQ+ community, and helped to kickstart the movement for legal recognition and protections for same-sex relationships and identities. Since then, there has been significant progress towards legal and social equality for LGBTQ+ people in many countries, although there is still much work to be done to achieve full acceptance and inclusion. Did Lisbon really exist? Yes, Lisbon is a real city and the capital of Portugal. It is located on the western coast of Portugal, near the Atlantic Ocean. Lisbon is one of the oldest cities in Europe, with a rich history and cultural heritage that spans back over 2,000 years. It has been an important center of trade, commerce, and culture for centuries, and is known for its vibrant neighborhoods, historic landmarks, and delicious cuisine. Was it an island of lesbians? No, there is no evidence to suggest that Lisbon was ever an island of lesbians. While the history of homosexuality and same-sex relationships in Lisbon and Portugal, in general, is complex and varied, there is no basis for the claim that the city was ever exclusively inhabited by lesbian women. It is important to be critical of such claims and to seek out accurate and evidence-based information about historical events and places. How about the Amazon women? The Amazon women, also known as Amazons, are a mythological race of warrior women who were said to live in various parts of the ancient world, including parts of the Near East, Africa, and Europe. According to legend, the Amazons were skilled fighters who lived without men and were fiercely independent. While there is no concrete evidence to suggest that the Amazons actually existed as a distinct society or culture, the myth of the Amazon women has persisted in various forms throughout history and has been the subject of numerous works of art, literature, and film. It is worth noting that some historians and scholars have suggested that the myth of the Amazon women may have originated from real-life societies of women warriors, such as the Scythians, who lived in the ancient Near East and were known for their skill in battle. However, the extent of the connection between these historical groups and the myth of the Amazons remains a topic of debate and speculation. Where did the word lesbian come from? The word lesbian is derived from the name of the Greek island of Lesbos, which was the birthplace of the ancient Greek poet Sappho. Sappho was known for writing love poems that expressed her feelings for other women, and her work has been celebrated for its lyricism and emotional intensity. Over time, the island of Lesbos became associated with lesbianism and same-sex female desire, and the term lesbian came to be used to describe women who were romantically and sexually attracted to other women. The term was first recorded in English in the late 16th century and has been in use ever since. It's worth noting that the use of the term lesbian as a label for women who are attracted to other women has been subject to debate and criticism, particularly from within the LGBTQ+ community. Some people argue that the term can be limiting or exclusionary, and prefer to use other terms such as queer or gay to describe their identities. Tell us more about Lesbos? Lesbos is a Greek island located in the northeastern Aegean Sea, near the coast of Turkey. It is the third largest Greek island, with a total land area of approximately 1,632 square kilometers, 630 square miles, and a population of around 90,000 people. The island has a rich history that dates back thousands of years, with evidence of human settlement stretching back to the Neolithic period. Over the centuries, the island has been ruled by various empires and states, including the Persians, Athenians, Romans, Byzantines, and Ottomans. One of the most famous figures associated with Lesbos is the ancient Greek poet Sappho, who was born on the island in the 7th century BCE. Sappho was known for her poetry, which celebrated the beauty of women and expressed her own feelings of love and desire for other women. Her work has had a significant impact on the development of lyric poetry and has inspired generations of writers and artists. In addition to its cultural heritage, Lesbos is known for its natural beauty, including its rugged coastline, beaches, and forests. The island is a popular destination for tourists and is particularly well known for its delicious food, including fresh seafood, olives, and cheeses. In recent years, Lesbos has also become associated with the ongoing refugee crisis in Europe. The island has been a key point of entry for refugees and migrants fleeing conflict and persecution in the Middle East and North Africa, and has been the site of significant humanitarian efforts to support these vulnerable populations. Tell us more about Sappho. Sappho was an ancient Greek poet who lived on the island of Lesbos in the 7th century BCE. She is regarded as one of the greatest poets of the ancient world and is particularly known for her lyric poetry, which expressed the beauty of love and desire, especially between women. Despite the significant influence of Sappho's work on poetry and literature, little is known about her life. She was born into a noble family and was said to have been married and had a daughter, but she is most famous for her work as a poet and teacher. Sappho was said to have founded a school for girls on Lesbos, where she taught poetry and music, and she was known to have had many female admirers and lovers. Sappho's poetry has had a profound impact on the development of lyric poetry and has inspired countless writers and artists over the centuries. Her work explores themes of love, desire, beauty, and the natural world, and is characterized by its emotional intensity, musicality, and vivid imagery. Many of her poems are addressed to other women and express her own feelings of love and longing, making her an important figure in the history of LGBTQ+ literature and culture. While much of Sappho's work has been lost over time, fragments of her poetry have survived in various forms, including on papyrus scrolls and in ancient anthologies. Despite the fragmentary nature of her work, Sappho remains one of the most celebrated poets of the ancient world, and her influence can be felt in literature, music, and art to this day.